session player? How did that?
It's just something. I mean, you meet people and they say, "Oh, could you come and play on something I'm doing in the studio?" It was very much a word of mouth thing, really. I didn't aspire to be one or try to be one, but I met a guy called Mike Snow, a Liverpudlian keyboard player who was Colin Blunstone's musical director at the time. And he knew of my playing, and he said, "Steve, we need a bass player for a tour." Because we actually did a tour. It was short-lived, actually, because we were the first band on, the support band on, with the very first tour by the Electric Light Orchestra. However, they were fronted by Roy Wood at the time, not Jeff Lynne. And it was a bit of a strange story because Colin Blunstone took about 12 guys out of the London Philharmonic Orchestra on tour with us, and they were fantastic, and the band was fantastic, and we were going down an absolute storm, and then Roy was coming on with the best will in the world. He's not a cello player, and so we sort of, about halfway through the tour, Roy said, "I'm not having this." So we were off the tour, but I got to play on a few tracks of his Ennismore album, which was recorded at Abbey Road, where the Beatles, did this. So that was fantastic. Yeah.
Why did people use you as a bass player, you think? What was it?
It's hard to know. Coming back to the reliability factor, very reliable, very solid. I wasn't, I wasn't classically trained, but I'd had lessons and sort of taught myself to read reasonably well. Not brilliantly. So I had all those sort of qualities, and that led to quite a few. And then you meet people that say, well, I met Bruce Rowlands, Joe Cocker, the Grease Band's drummer, and he used me on a lot of sessions because he was a very, very top British drummer, session drummer, and I became one of his main bass players that he would call for sessions because they'd often say to Bruce, "Well, you choose the band," and that's what led me on to playing with Ronnie Lane because Bruce had gone to play with Ronnie, and they'd had a couple of bass players that didn't work out, and he just said, "Would you like to come down to Wales to Ronnie's farm and just come and see if you like it or whatever,
Now you're stepping, it's very interesting, you're stepping into the shoes of a guy who was a great bass player. And yet he wanted to, because he wanted to sing, it's easier to sing and play rhythm.
Play guitar, yeah.
So what was special about working with Ronnie?
Well, I mean, first of all, I knew of his work, obviously, with the Small Faces and with the Faces, so it was special in fact that he was a very important guy and a great writer, and I think a great bass player. Very melodic bass player, but a very solid bass player. And I actually thought, why does he want me in it? So that was my. But then I quickly realised he's playing guitar, and then I thought, well, I know what he'll do. He'll tell me what he wants, And I did ask him when I went down. I said, "What do you want me to play on this run?" He said, "You should play what you want." He said, "Don't ask me. You just get on with it, And that's exactly what I did, and it just went on like that, really. He never, ever came up and said, "Well, Steve, I think you should play this there or that there," or He just, and I think he was like that with all the musicians that he worked with. It was very much a case of he didn't want a posh, ultra sort of together. He just wanted people who were good players. So, right, get up there and play,
Now, one of the things I find significant about Ronnie is that he left a world-famous band to do his own thing.
Yeah, very brave move. Very brave move. But I think he'd had enough of the, mixing, superstardom. I don't think was his bag, really. And he very much wanted to do what he wanted to do, writing-wise, because he was a fantastic writer, which is... What's amazed me is playing his songs now. I'm finding stuff about him now and about his writing that I never realised at the time. And I knew he was very good at the time, but having studied, you know, but Charlie and Steve Simpson have introduced me and the rest of the band to a lot more of his material that I wasn't involved with. And the more I got involved, the more I listened to it, the more fantastic a songwriter he became in my eyes. And not only that, as a songwriter, he was a fantastic singer as well. His delivery, his phrasing, his confidence, a wonderfully talented man.